Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some absolute fireworks for the Texas A&M Aggie fans on July 4th as one of the more surprising 2024 commitments goes down, and five-star wide receiver Cameron Coleman committing to Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M Aggies. And this truly was a wild one. Like, if you follow kind of recruiting pretty closely, this kid was an Auburn lean. A lot of people thought the commitment today, if you were to commit, the rumors were it would be to the Auburn Tigers. And Jimbo Fisher coming in and landing, again, what is one of the most surprising commitments so far in the 2024 class. This is a guy that a bona fide five-star. I mean, 6'3", 180 pounds, different blend of size, speed, athleticism, body control. You take a look at what Texas A&M is doing in this wide receiver room. They just added Draylon Miller this week as well, one of the top wide receivers in the country. Really strong wide receiver room. And I want to get into what Cam Coleman's going to bring to this offense. And then again, get into what this class in 2024 could look like for the Aggies. This was a class that wasn't even in the top 40 a week ago. You add a couple commitments and they're sitting at the 12th spot in the country. And it doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. Now, before we do, just want to say shout out to you guys, and I have a feeling we're going to have a lot more than just Texas A&M fans listening to this one, but we've been talking a lot of recruiting. The support you guys have shown truly does mean a lot. So if you're checking out recruiting videos July 4th before the fireworks, appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If you do enjoy the content, you like the updates, consider subscribing to the channel. And let's get into Cam Coleman. And we don't need to spend that much time on this kid's tape, but you're really looking at just kind of a difference maker immediately on the offensive side of the football. You go down and just check out what he's about. It truly, truly special. One thing that you might just assume with Cam Coleman is that he's just a guy that's going to be a contested catch, vertical kind of guy. He's a dude that can create separation, really quick twitch for a dude who's 6'3", and when he gets the football in space, like, he is an absolute animal to bring down. You're going to see him break about 13 tackles on this play. And it kind of, I mean, like, you could have a lot of comes. Like, Drake London could kind of come to example. When Drake London was cooking at USC, you saw him kind of just carry defenders on his back. This is the definition of a matchup nightmare. Like, he's going to run by a cornerback that's big and slow, and he's just going to kind of out-physical cornerbacks that might be able to keep up with him from a speed perspective. But this is a guy that, I mean, you could throw out some really special names if you wanted to go crazy, like Julio Jones. Is the type of speed, size combination that's just impossible to deal with. And you look at most of his tape, most of it is that contested catch, body control, physicality at the catch point, where it's just like, hey, we're going to throw it up to Cameron Coleman and let him go make a play. And to be honest, not a bad strategy if you have Cameron Coleman on your high school football team. Go find the big Cam Coleman 6'3", throw it up to him, let him make a play. But I like how he can work kind of the middle of the field. And again, he has the ability to just run by defenders. That's an underthrown ball. He comes back for it and makes a play. Works the middle of the field well again. And you're going to see, like, this is a guy that's just absolutely impossible to tackle when he gets the football. It needs to be multiple people, especially if you're in the secondary trying to tackle this kid. And you see the burners too. Like, 6'3", this dude can absolutely fly as well. Kind of the perfect blend of the size-speed combination. He has the body control. He has the ball skills. Taking a look at this class in Texas A&M, it's starting to come together in a meaningful way, right? Your top two commits right now are two wide receivers, which I might know last 2 weeks or in the last week, it seems. They've hit I think this is their 6th commitment in the last 14 days. Like, they're starting to really fill up this class. And since this is an absolutely wild commitment, I guess we could just get wild with what this class could look like. You have a core two. This suddenly, in my mind, and this is exactly what I thought when I saw this news, right? You have suddenly probably one of the better wide receiver classes. You have really two solid offensive tackles in Weston Davis and Ashton Funk. I wonder, you took two quarterbacks, Anthony Maddox from Mississippi, and you also took Miles O'Neill from up in New Jersey, both kind of project quarterbacks that it sounded like Texas A&M took Maddox really early. They were still fishing for another quarterback. I don't know what we're going to get crazy with it, I guess. Like, I wonder if you can, like, go call up DJ Lagway, who's committed to Florida. And Florida Gator fans, don't get mad at me. I'm not trying to, like, say this is going to be a flip commitment here. But this suddenly seems to be one of the more ideal landing spots for a young quarterback. Because you're going to know you're going to come in, and if Petrino's still calling the offense, you might feel good about that. And maybe if you just have to put it on the field first, and you kind of have this explosive offense that a lot of us are optimistic about with Petrino calling the offense, this could be a really good offense. You're talking about Evan Stewart, Moose Muhammad, Connor Wigman at quarterback. It could be a really good offense. And if it is a really good offense, and these quarterbacks who are already committed, most of the top quarterbacks off the board as it stands, sees that offense in 2023 really putting up some wild numbers. I mean, DJ Lagway in the state of Texas, I know he's been on campus down in College Station. I wonder if you can't call him, and again, it seems wild, but this is truly a wild commitment, and say, hey, this is a spot where you can thrive at quarterback. You got two of the best wide receivers in the country in this class. You got some good offensive linemen to protect you. You have Bobby Petrino, who, again, like, say what you will about him as a head coach, one of the better offensive-minded coaches around the country. And Jimbo Fisher, not too bad himself. I kind of give him a hard time, but he's proven to develop some quarterbacks in big-time ways as well. I wonder if this Texas A&M team goes after a quarterback, one of those elite quarterbacks in this 2024 class that's already committed, and say, hey, this is a good landing spot for you. But I don't mean to discount a guy like Miles O'Neal or Anthony Maddox for that stand. Like, those guys are project guys. They're not the kind of normal caliber A&M take at the quarterback position. But Jimbo Fisher, Coach Petrino, probably seeing something in those guys. That's probably why they took two of them. You got two kind of lottery tickets sitting there. Wonder if they work out. But again, I really do wonder if a guy like DJ Lagway, you get him on the phone and say, hey, this is going to be a spot for you to maybe succeed in the future. Now, taking a look at what this class could look like, they're still in, like, they got off to a slow start, and that sometimes happens when you go 5-7 and it looks ugly. But Texas A&M on the recruiting trail swings about as big of a sword, or big of a stick, if you will, in the country. And we just saw it right now going and landing Cameron Coleman. But they still have gotten a ton of talented guys on campus. Nigel Smith, I know they're battling it out for Oklahoma on that one. But you go down the list. Like TJ Lindsey, I know they're in a good spot for on the defensive line. And I have a good feeling they're just going to be able to recruit well up front. But going back to like some of the talent they've had earlier in the month of June, Aiden Breland, Caden Durham, one of the best running backs from Texas, Bennett Warren, one of the better offensive tackles in Texas. I don't think Texas A&M is slowing down. In fact, it seems to be the opposite. They're just ramping it up. And we just saw one of the wilder commitments just now. I wonder if by the end of this cycle, like Texas A&M maybe lands kind of a top quarterback, and they're definitely going to fill out this. They're going to fill out the recruiting class. I don't think we're nervous about that, but I think the biggest concern is that quarterback position, because I don't think they loved what I don't think if you're Texas A&M, you love your takes in 2024 at the quarterback position. This suddenly becomes one of the most enticing spots for a young quarterback to come in. You got two really good wide receivers in the boat, probably going to get some more of those guys. And then on the offensive line as well, it seems to be in a pretty good spot. We'll see how this plays out. This has been the most wild recruiting season that we've seen, so I'm not ruling anything out. Again, wanted to hop on here. Hope you guys are all having a good July 4th. I'm 3 hot dogs in, but wanted to come and just talk about one of the biggest stories that we've seen in the recruiting trail so far. 5-star Cam Coleman committing to the Texas A&M Aggies. Some wild stuff going on July 4th. Again, appreciate you guys checking us out. If you are checking out recruiting stuff during July 4th, you're an absolute sicko. I love it. Consider subscribing to the channel. We got more to come. Appreciate you guys checking us out. We'll talk to y'all later.